Hi, I'm Ryan Sweeney, and I saved $72,000 in aged vendor hardware. Pretty important, right? Especially given the fact that I was there at this vendor to do an inventory, right? And I wasn't supposed to find the lost hardware. I was just supposed to count the hardware that was there and leave it up to the financial analyst to find this hardware. But it's not who I am. It's not my heart and nature to just let a problem float by. So what I did is I started to do some digging. After I found where my physical inventory lied, I started doing the digging. I could have gone home. Honestly, I flew from Kentucky to New York and wanted to drive up a couple hours upstate to see my family that I hadn't seen in a while. But I put that on the back burner because what was more important to me was finding this lost hardware. And as I started to scrub through the data with the vendor, I started finding out that it wasn't necessarily lost hardware. It was that this hardware had been scrapped and that the process was weak. It was a PDF file that was scrubbed and it was sent off in an email list for people that didn't even work for the organization anymore. So I had to scrub through each and every one of these files, and then I had to check out all the serial numbers through PDF. So I couldn't even just do an Excel search and do a pivot table. Instead, I had to go through physically hand by hand serial numbers that night, found all this lost hardware, forwarded on to the product owners. We turned around and scrapped that hardware out. And this is just an example of the work that I do and how I go about problem solving, how I build relationships with our vendors, and how I don't let things fall by the wayside. I call it picking up fumbles, and I think it's important and a good work ethic for individuals like me.